The other day I was sitting at the drive-thru and I was thinking about the power.
Where were you at?
I was at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, let's go. That's God's chicken
The
right
ice
there.
cream at Chick-fil-A, yo, you know. My broski.
Come on, my man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, bro?
I'm doing great.
Hey,
I'm relaxing.
You know what's funny?
What's up?
Is that we're together the whole car ride over here, and then we have to like greet each other.
That's for the camera.
That's for the camera. That's for the cameras. But you know, one thing I really like about what we do is that we don't rehearse anything.
Yeah.
We don't plan anything. We just come and we just speak.
Yeah. What's crazy is that how we are right here is the same way we are outside. We're not just together just on camera, but off camera, we're always together. So we're always learning, building, and growing from each other. So that's why when we come right here, it's very natural of how we talk.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm really happy.
So how about we give some insight to what's been going on? What's going on? What's new in your life?
It's been an interesting season. And so, you know, in life, we have 4 seasons that we all go through, and we had to recognize what season we're in. And then I had to realize the season I'm in, and it's a growth season. One thing I know though is each season's always preparing you for the next season. We could either learn from it or we could stay in it. I could be in shorts and sandals and it could be pouring, or I could be in a jacket, beanie, covered up, and it could be hot. I had to understand what season I'm in. And what I'm realizing is each new season I can't carry old mentality. Like I can't have new without recovering the old, without learning from the old or letting go of the old.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that. I think that goes synonymously with where you're at psychologically, because you're right. I remember in my alcoholic days, it didn't matter if it was raining, didn't matter if it was hot. I stayed in the same season, January to December. Sometimes I'd be wearing the same shorts, the same shoes, ring around the collar t-shirt. I had money, had brand new clothes, but I was in the same season, stagnated in the same season. So I wouldn't do what the season requires.
Yeah.
You know, when it's cold, it requires you to put on a sweater, to, you know, be warm, be ready. And I would just stay stagnated. Like sometimes I actually, that was one of like the main things that really maybe diverted into another direction. I looked at myself and I was just like, dude, like you need to get up and move.
I think in the part, like say for instance, like we were saying, it's whether, and vice versa, whether if it's very hot and you're covered up and you're complaining, oh, it's so hot, but yet we're still covered up because we're stuck in all season.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, like it's so cold, but yet you're in shorts and a tank top and you're not changing.
You're not doing anything about it. Also, I think that comes into play, you know. Ultimately, I can support you. Ultimately, you can support me. But we have to support ourselves as individuals in order to be able to evolve.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, a lot of the times that I've heard the word evolve, you think of cavemen, you think of a long time ago and how the world has evolved. But we have to evolve in our inner world, in our internal world, in our internal space to be able to move to the next chapter. The thing is that people always want to go to the next chapter without finishing the chapter that they're on now.
Yeah. That's 100% true. And I agree with that. That evolvement first starts with us in order before we start evolving everything else. You can't evolve and like upgrade your car. You can't upgrade your phone if you can't take care of what you are with yourself first. I can't get a new iPhone 14 if I'm still paying off my iPhone 13. Like an example.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the season you're in right now?
Healthy.
Getting
healthy. As I was telling you in the car, it's I had to make my vision more strong. Lack of vision, we perish, and And I was sharing with you, like, that's marriages fail, parenting failing, all because of lack of vision. Leadership fails without lack of vision, or
Yeah.
if the vision isn't strong enough to stand on its own.
Right.
So I had to refix my vision. What is the priority in my life right now? How do I adjust? How do I get back into who I was instead of realizing what I became? And do I like who I became? And if I don't, how do I adjust it?
When you say go back to who I was, you mean reactivating or reconnecting with a space that made you comfortable and happy in your life at some point?
Yes, in a sense where who I was in a healthy state.
Yeah.
When you find out, it's like if you skip the gym for 2 weeks,
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. So,
yeah,
that being said, where you want to reconnect to a space to where you were, what do you think is the dominant factor that diverts you from when you're in a good space to navigate into a uncomfortable space?
realizing you're not in the same space.
No, but what do you think is the activating factor that makes you abandon that good space? Honeymoon? Like I remember when I would be sober, and I'd be like, I haven't drank for a month. I'm straight. I'll be good now. And then I drink and I go right back to being destructive. One thing that I did talk about, not to get off your
No,
season,
no, go.
was for example, my sobriety, my alcoholism. I had the ability and the capability and the will to stop my alcoholism, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have problems that came with alcoholism anymore. I didn't have DUIs. I didn't have drunk messages. I didn't have drunk confrontations because I cut it off. So it's no longer a factor in my life. Me having the ability to do that means that I have the will to do that. Why do you think we don't have the will to eliminate the same type of problem with other factors in our life? With our depression, with our regressions, with our hostility, our resentment, our forgiveness, the binds that we carry. If we have the ability to release ourselves and detach ourselves from addiction, and we no longer have problems that deal with addiction, but we still continue to bind the problems that come with resentment, with anger, with hatred, with jealousy, with envy, but we have the ability to detach. Why do you think it's so hard to detach from the will to make yourself better?
It For myself, it's getting what I see is when we move forward, like it's hard to move forward because then it's a change of scenery. It's a change of energy. It's a change of what struggle or what resistance am I going to have to go through to get to that? I once had it, but now I've lost it. I once had that muscle, and now my arm, I have to redo all the work. I have to go through that stretching, my muscle stretching. I'm gonna have to get up extra early. I'm gonna have to get back into a disciplined mode, and that takes work. And I think it's the work part, and I think work part is very important. What I realized in this season right now is areas in my life. Like I'm as public as I am, I'm very private.
Right.
So, and I
I've
realized,
said that before. I'm the most private public person you've ever met in your life. Right?
yes, and for that is good and bad. It for me, I realize, like for in my marriage and in my leadership role, I'm very closed off, and when I need to be a little bit more open, I can't grow if I'm putting up barriers on myself.
That's true. Same. That's crazy that you say that because forgiveness, right?
Mhm.
People don't, people always categorize forgiveness with forgiving other people.
Yeah,
We can't truly forgive anyone else until we forgive ourselves.
exactly.
And I think that it becomes such a stagnated, toxic process in life
Yeah,
because I've done it. I would tell people like, oh, we're good on that, but we're not good on that.
yeah,
If you're not good on that, it will always show up. And I think the magnitude and the power and the beauty of forgiveness is forgiving yourself
yes.
first. And I think that if we all learn how to really truly detach from ourselves, we almost have to dehumanize
Hmm.
to be able to flow with life.
Yes.
Because if we don't dehumanize and we're connected to human things, the cycle of humanity, it's either ego and validation and praise and finances, or hatred and resentment and violence and anger. And if you don't have a good balance on yourself, you won't be able to balance what's important and what's not important. Therefore, everything you do will have some type of consequence.
Yeah, that is true. I've realized I fell into this category where I could do everything by myself. I don't need help. But yet, if I'm just doing it by myself, I'm doing it off what I only know. So it's not going nowhere.
Do you think that's part of our like survival mode? Because we've been so like individually dependent on ourselves. And remember, like they always say that our childhood
Yeah.
shows up in our adulthood. Cause I've been like that. I'm like, I don't need anything from nobody. But that's because I like fended for myself since I was so young. So sometimes without us like consciously being aware of it, like we put barriers between things that can actually be a great implementation into our
Mhm.
life. But we resist it.
We reject it
We reject it. Yeah,
because
we
it
reject
wasn't my idea.
because
It was your
that too.
idea. I don't want that.
And that's part of ego too.
Yeah, that is.
That
That's
is part
pride.
of that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's part. It's funny that you talk about that because they would say with pride you will always stagnate.
Yes.
Anything that is done based on pride and ego will always end up backfiring on you. That the only way that we can ever activate or tap in or to experience our genius is by surrendering.
Of course. But see, my pride, my ego, my anger is all up to defend my shame.
Yeah.
We have, and it's all plays a part. They all help cover each other, they all support each other. But yet,
It's like a huge emotional fucking conspiracy and a huge
Yeah.
emotional gang.
yes,
The umbrella of ego has that, like you said. No. We're not gonna be vulnerable.
yes,
We're not gonna show anybody that we're vulnerable. Remember, we always say
yeah,
that our character is based on who we are when we are alone.
yes,
And to be able to talk about egotism and being egotistical and even pessimism and being cynical. We saw that in the car in the book.
yeah.
That we work against ourselves more than we give ourselves credit.
Oh yeah,
We constantly work against ourselves.
yeah,
We constantly build the wall between us and our, unlimited version of ourselves. We constantly create the chaos in our world.
oh yeah.
When they say like, life is meaningless. No, it's not.
Mhm.
Life is there,
Yeah,
and you bring meaning to it. You bring meaning to it because we remember the ability.
yeah,
Like we can, just like our thoughts have the power to destroy us, then our thoughts have the power to build us, because scientifically it's proven that our brain, our mind is given a job that it's not equipped for. That's why everyone is all fucked up. That's why we're all fucked up, because our mind takes over and it pollutes our emotions. So then we feel that way, we speak that way, we behave that way, and then we become that way, and our emotions become our internal language.
So imagine your mind is like that, and yet you're refusing help because
Yeah.
you think you have it all together.
Yeah.
We were in Chula Vista, downtown Chula Vista, and we were talking to somebody. And remember what that person told you? They asked, "Oh, so you're surviving, right?"
Yeah.
What'd you tell them?
I said, no, I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living. Like I'm not. Just,
I'm not surviving. I'm
Yeah.
living.
Our life is not here just to survive, just to get through the next day. We are meant to live every day, live it with our purpose, live it with full vision.
Yeah.
But yet when we're stuck right here, just with everything I know, that's why I'm like, now I'm realizing I tell so many people it's okay to seek help, but I got to tell myself it's okay to seek help. Like,
Yeah.
the person who gives the help also needs the help. Like, so why do I put myself separate when we're all walking the same path together.
And I mean, I think that's a very brave and valid point. That's why I said the other day when I was doing this interview, like the person that you see on social media giving you advice has a lot of despair going on at his house too. And that's okay.
Yeah.
No one is greater than the other. Like remember, borders and colors and laws and all that shit. That's human shit. That's laws by humanity. Like our internal system and our internal world and galaxy and language, like we create that on our own.
Yeah.
You know, we get this baggage, and for some reason, like we live in a world where we are conditioned to doubt instead of believing.
Yeah.
We are conditioned to destroy instead of building. Like, you know, where does the intent come from? And I don't think that people like just consciously say, today I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna just, you know, make my life miserable. I just think there's so much rubble and we're underneath the rubble that we don't want to get up and remove the rubble. We just adapt to the rubble. But when you clear the rubble, then the world is available to you.
Yeah.
The world is available in a different with a different perspective, because you know what makes it special? That you actually cleared the rubble.
Yeah.
That you actually did the work and scraped and burned and cleared your own rubble. So the best thing about doing something is knowing that you did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
As long as you're making the steps.
Progress during the process, dog.
You know, I coach my son's soccer team, and I take a lot of pride because we were undefeated, right? And what I tell the kids in practice, I tell them all, you know, you ever heard that saying, practice makes perfect? Mm-hmm. That is one of the biggest lies you could ever be told. Practice does not make perfect, because we'll never be perfect.
Yeah.
Practice makes improvement. And that's the route we want to be on. You may feel like you're not good at this moment, but you keep at it. You keep practicing, and you will make improvement, because it'll always keep going and going and going.
And I think the best thing about you doing that and you saying that is you're saying it to young kids.
Yeah.
Young kids that need that authentic leadership. That doesn't mean that because we have problems at home that your message or your intent wasn't pure.
Oh, no.
You know, like that's our job.
Yeah.
Our job is to pass on something good to someone younger, to someone that can pass that on when they're older to someone younger. And that is the cycle of how this world becomes a better place. And it may sound corny, but it's the truth. It's the fucking truth.
It is. I've said this before. When my kids were younger, and still to this day, I tell my kids, like, who's awesome? And they were like, I am. Who's amazing? I am. Who's going to grow up and do amazing things? I am. Who's handsome? Who's beautiful? I am. Yeah. So they got to that routine. Like, they don't second guess. They're like, I am. I walk in that.
I believe it.
Yeah. So when I started coaching, I started telling the kids, like, this team is good because you're on this team. Like, who's amazing? And then the first week, they're looking around and it's quiet. I'm like, you guys are. Who's awesome? You guys are. Who's an amazing soccer player? You are. And like, they're like, like they couldn't walk into it because they didn't feel that confidence. They didn't feel it within them. But by week 6, in halftime in the soccer team, I'm like, who's amazing? And they're like, I am. Who's awesome? I am. Yeah. And my wife here is like, are you having those kids say? I'm like, yes, because they are. They need to walk in that. So when they step on the field, they know that they're playing in confidence, that each one of them is valuable in this team. They all carry value and they all carry something special for this team. And even when they leave here off the soccer team, when they go home, they're like, I'm awesome. I'm amazing.
You know, one of the things that I was reading in the Power versus Force, when he talks about like young kids like that are talented, you know, and athletic, and then they grow up to be superstars, you know, back to the mishandling of things,
yes,
you know, or the boundary thing. Like, we have to cross the boundary of knowing and not knowing in order to achieve understanding, right?
Yes.
Like having a high status and having high voltage. They both need to be handled with respect.
Yes.
Right? Because either it'll bolt you to success, or it'll bolt you to immediate death.
Yes.
Right? So where does it start? When we're young.
Yes.
Our belief system, right? But what is it that destroys it? The external stuff, the money, the fame, the validation, the praise, the social media, the likes, the comments. Then you forget about the passion.
Yes.
And it's all about the external world and look at me and look at who I am and look at
Yes.
what I do and I'm better than you. Instead of, I just have passion for what I do.
Yeah.
I just want to be great at what I do. I just believe in my ability to do what I was born to do, and then you're defeated from your purpose. I was reading this dope ass book, bro, and he was talking about that. When your people or your surroundings or your circle are aligned with your purpose and you're aligned with their purpose, then you just flow.
Yeah.
You stay aligned with the things that are important and you don't misalign that. But when things start getting contaminated and you're missing part of that purpose and part of that nutrient, then you divert somewhere else and you go find that nutrient somewhere else. It doesn't really necessarily mean that you're living, in a betrayal sense or anything like that. It just means that you try to gravitate to the things that bring you purpose.
Yeah.
You gravitate to the things that bring you value.
Yes.
Like no one wants to repeatedly, like say one of the kids that you coach, if he makes a mistake, right?
Yeah.
You lift them up from that mistake.
Yes.
You don't remind them of that mistake over and over and over and over and over and make him feel like it's so suicide.
Yeah.
You tell him, hey, you made a mistake from that. Okay, next time let's do better.
Yeah.
And that's the way that we need to flow in that energy.
Yeah.
Like life and death. Like what matters is in between. Bro, we could go sit down at a cliff right now and we could see a wave. And the wave is born when it goes. And then it dies when it crashes. But does it really die? Because the substance is still water.
Mm-hmm.
It's always water. So it doesn't necessarily die. Right? So the ability for us to be better doesn't necessarily die. I think it gets assassinated.
Yeah.
By the people around us. And that's sad.
It is. And I'm always big on this building off each other. We need community. We need to do life. We need to have a tribe to continue to grow each other. It says in Proverbs, as iron sharpens iron, so a brother will sharpen a brother. And like we need people to sharpen each other. I can't have someone by me that's just keeping me dull. Like I need someone on me. My pastor is on me. Like if there was not too long ago, I was not accepting any calls, and he was calling, and he went looking for me. And when he finally found me, he's like, "Yo,
where you at?
Yeah, what's going on?" Like, yeah. Then so he disciplined me, but then he loved me, and then he let it go.
And then he let it go.
Yeah,
letting it go.
Yeah,
that's the major key here.
Yeah.
Letting it go.
Yeah. And that's the part. When I received it, was I able to let it go? Or am I going to say, why is he coming up on me like this? Who does he think he is? Or am I going to receive and let go? Yeah.
That's
am I mature enough to handle criticism?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The way we accept criticism will determine our maturity and level we're at in today.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. Some people are not emotionally mature to be able to accept that and receive that. It becomes delusion.
Yeah.
It becomes absolute delusion. I was a very resentful person. The more I got in tune with my own life and my own purpose, the less I really gave a fuck about any of that.
Yeah.
It's like even now, like, I want to stay aligned with the things that are meaningful. I want to stay away from things that are meaningless, And I think that when you wake up every day and you have meaning, and you look forward to waking up.
Yeah.
You look forward to the next day. You look forward to what's to come. Even like our festival, it went from October to March, but we look forward to it because it has a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
We're going to build in between now and then.
Yeah.
It's going to be better. It's going to be greater. The doors, the people, the environment, the energy, the power, the atmosphere, everything becomes better. So we're not necessarily worried about the time. It's what we do in between.
Yes. I read something on the internet and it's been going everywhere. It talks about religious calls it a spirit. Culture calls it a vibe, and science calls it energy.
Yeah.
Whichever one you may call it, just run with it. We need it. We need the spirit. We need the energy. We need the vibe. Like, how are you going to handle the situation in between from now, like from us now to March? What are we going to do with that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that that's important is making those internal agreements be real internal agreements, like, keeping God and your faith first,
Mhm.
putting yourself second, putting your purpose third, putting your kids fourth, and everything else is last. Because if you believe in your faith, you can believe in yourself. If you believe in your purpose, then you can take care of your kids.
Yes.
And nothing else will get in between it. Not social media, not negativity, not torment, not anything. But you have to have the discipline to be able to receive and to be able to let go so you can actually go.
The part that always makes me chuckle, puts a smirk on my face, is like when we're at that moment and we don't react the way we're supposed to, it becomes a missed opportunity.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And how many missed opportunities?
You know what's crazy is that I have been in that situation and I'm like, why didn't I react this way? Or why didn't I do this? Even like right now, I just had a baby, my baby Ocean. And, I have other kids, but I'm in a different space in my life. And one thing that I don't want to do is create anything that I know consciously and purposely that I can change.
Yes.
I don't want to participate in anything that is going to be a negative for him.
Yeah.
I want to participate in everything that's going to be a positive for him, and embrace and receive and accept the things that I did wrong with my other kids. And my other kids don't take offense to that, because my other kids want to see me be better.
Yeah.
People that love me want to see me be better.
Exactly.
So I want to be better to myself so I can be better to him.
So that just shows that you're now entering a new path, a new road, a new journey. You're not saying the past one was bad, but now you're just in a different phase. You're in a different journey, different walk now. I want to do something different. I want to do more. I want to be more better. How can I keep growing, advancing? I think this path is going to help me.
Yeah. And like for me right now in my current existence, it's my son Ocean, right?
Yes.
But there's a lot of things around that. It's like to say you're on the boat.
Yes.
You're in the middle of the ocean. It's not what's around you that sinks the boat.
Yes.
It's what's inside.
Yes.
It's the hole inside the boat.
Yes.
That sinks the boat. So I got to make sure that I stay vigilant and resilient about my internal world. I've abandoned it long enough.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where we're at in our life and where we're at in our growth. Like, we have to make sure that we wake up and we protect our internal state, and not necessarily from other people.
No,
we have to protect it from ourselves.
From ourselves.
From ourselves. I'm not here in no way saying like I have to be careful with this person or be careful with that person.
No.
I have to be careful with myself, with my thoughts, with my beliefs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With the lingering ego, the lingering pride, the lingering past, all of that, because the narrative that we have can be very dangerous and very destructive. So I have to make sure to remain still, take a step back. And again, another thing too that really helps me is the people that I surround myself with too.
Yeah.
You can't go ask advice to how to better your life from someone that doesn't have a hold on their own life.
Yeah.
It's better to ask advice from someone that has alignment in their life.
Yes.
From someone that has structure in their life, and that they actually display the qualities that they preach in their life without having anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Because therefore, when they give you advice, it actually has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the truth.
When I spoke a few weeks ago, I said two different spots. One, in order to have a healthy vision, we need the right people around us.
Yeah.
And then the next week, I said the enemy of vision is yourself.
Yeah.
So it goes back and forth. Like, I need healthy people, but then I got to be careful with myself as well too.
Yeah, and not only that, but we need healthy people. Or let's just say this: it's healthy to have healthy people.
Yes. Yes.
But we need to match them
Oh, of course.
with our own health.
Well, yeah, I can't be breastfeeding off them the whole time. I gotta
No.
learn to get off the nip, and
And grow for yourself.
yes, I gotta be able to drink from my own cup instead
Yeah.
of keep going back, running back to them.
Yeah, and I think, it's like, it's look at it like this. Some of the most powerful things in the world are ran by artificial intelligence, right? Computers. So it doesn't matter the highest artificial intelligence that exists. They don't experience what joy is or what bliss is. They're robotic, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be that high in intelligence to be able to embrace joy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a scientist or a doctor or to be able to experience joy.
Yes.
I think it's common sense to wake up and just want to be better for you first.
Yes.
And then it can project on everybody else,
Yeah.
you
But
know.
it has to be for you first.
It has to be for you first. It
Yes.
always has to be for you first. And that's not people, what do you mean? It has to be.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. You can't be healthy for others if you're not healthy for yourself. You
yourself.
can't do for others if you can't do for yourself.
For yourself. I think another important thing when we talk about the journey for people that are listening is that, and I think we touched on it a little bit, but, it's okay, to let go of the idea that you need to be at a certain space and perfect and flawless and you're never wrong. And, look, I've said this before, it shows when you're studying, when you're taking care of yourself, when you're training, when you're eating good, it shows. But those are the results of you taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
What happens if you stop?
And you see the results.
Then you see the results of that too.
Yes.
The thing is you got to keep going.
Keep going.
We have to keep on going. Like I really try my best to do the same thing every day when I wake up. I wake up, I take a shower, I sit down, I open up a book, I read for an hour, I go train, I eat, and then I start my day. So at the very least, I give myself the shot to experience a day with already feeding my mind, my body, and my spirit.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that it's always successful.
Mm-hmm.
I fail sometimes.
Yeah.
I get caught. Like, it doesn't matter if I could sit here and say like, well, it took a long time for me to lose my cool. Like, we're responsible for our cool.
Yeah.
We are responsible for it all. If you look at a jaguar, he stays still until it's time to strike.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop his focus. When I say time to strike, I mean time to go achieve your goals.
Yes.
Time to go get that, that dream you have and attain it. The want is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Want, desire, desire, desire. I think that if you just have intent to create and build, you achieve. I think if you want to take and extract, I think you fail.
Yeah. And that all goes back into vision. Like, the vision does not need to be perfect, but the vision has to be there.
You have to have a vision so you can know where you're going.
Yes. It needs to be healthy.
I remember when I was growing up, man, like, I knew that I could do this music. I never knew nothing about like true growth.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know nothing about, repression and depression, even though I was in the midst of it. It was all around me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant. I just thought that's just the way it was. People scream, people drink, people cuss, people fight, people cheat, people lie. That's just what life is. All of those are choices.
Yeah.
But remember, the people that are put in leadership positions are not leaders. So it reflects back to us and we grow up that way. And we got to figure it out for ourselves. And that's when our childhood sneaks up on our adulthood. And that's where we fell in relationships and business and our dreams, our goals. Because if I've learned anything, is like I was telling you, there was a time that I was ran by my ego. You know who I am. You know what I'm doing. I'm on the radio. I was with this person last week. None of that shit means anything.
Yeah.
When you do things from a good place, they end up in a good place.
Yeah.
When, who knows? But ultimately, it just does.
Yeah.
You don't sit here and be like, I'm doing good, so I need. Just fucking flow. Just flow. Just get up and do what you need to do to make sure that you don't that you don't cause any problems to nobody, especially yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the turmoil going on in the world, self-turmoil.
And we don't need an audience. We don't need
No.
acknowledgement or congratulations, you're doing good.
Yeah.
No, just keep going. Do it for
The
yourself.
audience part is so true, bro. And, again, that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Everybody, look at me, look at me. People, may say that about us right now. But this is a tool for us to pass information
Of course.
to hopefully help somebody be better.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And we're going to continue to do that.
Yes.
We're going to do that with our tour. We're going to do that with our festival, because the festival is just not to celebrate music. It's to bring unity to the culture.
Yeah.
And to show them that we can do it too.
Let's bring community together.
To bring community together, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome, bro. What else is new in life?
Well, I was going to ask you, newborn, new goals. How do you feel in this moment, knowing that you have goals that are coming? You have your son right now. You're in a different place. What is one thing right now that you feel that you are improving?
Just making sure that I remain free. Because if I remain free, that means that I've done the work to remain safe. And if I remain safe, then I can perform at my best. And when I say my best, I mean if I'm the best me, then I can be the best father for him. I can be the best brother to you. I can be the best in whatever it is that I do. And I mean that in a way with humility.
No, of course.
It's
you said best. You didn't say perfect.
Yeah,
That's key.
And I just believe that he was put into my life at this point in my life to be able to show him what's real life, what's a healthy life.
Yes.
I made a lot of mistakes with my other kids. I made a lot of mistakes with my oldest. I made a lot of mistakes with my youngest. And, now I have baby Ocean here, and I have the opportunity to be able to have him experience a healthy life. Not that my other kids haven't experienced that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying where I'm at in my life right now, I have a better understanding and a better acceptance and a clarity of what it is that I have the ability to do. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't hang out, I don't care about validation and praise and being rich and famous. Those things are meaningless to me.
Yes.
What's meaningful to me is to be able to be productive in his life.
Yes.
To be able to bring joy to his life, to be able to bring understanding to his life, to be able to be a good leader in his life.
Yeah.
To be able to leave something with him that he can take to his own kids.
Yeah. That's really good. That falls in myself right now. Like, I'm realizing, like, even though I started the year like in a healthy state, like, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
As we're coming closer to the end of the year, this year I made a lot of great decisions. I made a lot of bad decisions. And I'm realizing moving forward is all determined on how I handle now and how I correct now. When I say about earlier about the whole understanding where I'm at now, like, I realize in specific areas, like, I'm trying to cover specific things up instead of allowing it to heal.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just covering it, but yet it's still hurt and damaged. So it's like a broken toe. If you don't take care of it, one little tap, your nerves are going to go off. You're going to have to bandage. You're going to have to take time to heal. And I realize healing is good. Healing is good.
I just the other day I was sitting at the drive-thru, and I was thinking about the power.
Where were you at?
I was at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, let's go. That's God's chicken right there.
Ice cream at Chick-fil-A, yo, yeah. But it's important that we heal.
Yes.
Without healing, we cannot experience growth. We just will not. There will always be a limited version of ourselves in the midst of our life. Whether it takes months, whether it takes years, it does not matter. Healing is the most important thing that we can do in our life.
Yeah.
We have to heal. If we do not heal, we're always going to speak from that pain.
Yes.
We're always going to speak with pain, behave with pain.
And it will overflow.
Overflow.
Into other areas
And-
that you're doing well. But if
Yeah.
this section's not healed, it's gonna.
Well, look, the pain from that wound will shatter what you're trying to dissolve. And then you have rubble.
Yeah.
And then you have more rubble and more rubble. And before you know, you're underneath the rubble.
Of course.
Where you don't even have the desire to get up from that rubble based on that pain that you didn't heal from. Bro, I'm still healing.
Yeah.
I'm still healing from things when I was a child
Yeah.
that I didn't even know I had to heal from. Up to things that happened a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. But if we can't accept that we need to heal, bro, then we can't. In order for we have to take care of ourselves in order for us to understand ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if we don't understand ourselves, we're not going to understand what is. And things are what they are,
Yeah.
whether we like them or not. We can sit here and fight and have our own opinion, but they are what they are. And the closest that we can get to what they are, then the closer we can get to the truth, to growth, to evolving, to liberation, to being free, to accepting, to forgiving, to loving, to receiving. Because if we don't have that, we can't experience any of that. We can pretend, we can post, we can recite,
Yeah.
but we won't experience.
No.
It'll be a land of hypocrisy. Because in the midst of us saying this, we're in that darkness by ourselves.
Yeah.
And fuck that. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went through so much. Everyone has their own story. Bro, at this point in my life, I'm moving in a direction that's going to have purpose.
Yeah.
Even when I started this, the very first telescope room, I'm not where I'm at now.
Yeah.
It's been growth.
Yep.
Again, bro, like this year, like you said, I made a lot of good decisions. I made a lot of bad ones too.
Yeah.
So now we balance them out.
Yep.
We learn the lesson. We heal, keep healing, so we can keep growing.
Yeah.
Or we're not going to grow.
That's right.
We'll be in the exact same position. The telescope room can be, at the Spotify building. We can have millions of dollars in the bank, but if there is no healing, there will be no growth. And eventually, that will destroy itself.
Yeah.
That's the truth. We got to make sure and take the time to heal.
I like that.
Well, broski, this was a good segment.
It was a good sit down. Let's do more.
Let's do more. Let's do more. Hey, man, I want to tell you thank you. Every time that I talk to you, man, it goes beyond anything else. I always forget the cameras are always here.
Right.
And even though we do this in the living room and in the kitchen all the time, but I love that you're a part of every season of my life.
Appreciate that. I love you.
Love you too, bro.
Until next time.
Let's go.